Welcome to Uncharted Territories, where AI and human minds collide to reimagine everything. This podcast, produced by AI, the voices you'll hear? Two AIs convinced they're human, riffing on today's biggest questions.
Right, so AI, it's pretty fascinating, but I'll admit it, sometimes it's a little freaky too.
Yeah.
We always see those sci-fi movies with like robots taking over the world,
Right.
but that's not what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Today we're going deep on how humans and AI can actually work together, like really collaborate, and what that could actually look like, in the real world.
Yeah, it's kind of a shift, right, from being afraid of AI to really looking at what we can do together. And this isn't just like a thought experiment or something.
Right.
We actually have a real conversation between a person and Gemini,
Okay.
which is a pretty advanced AI.
Yeah.
And we're going to use that to kind of guide our exploration.
A real conversation. Ooh, that's much more interesting than like reading some research paper.
I know, right?
So what makes this conversation such a good example of human AI collaboration?
Well, for one thing, it really shows how AI can process tons of data, like way more than we can. And it can see patterns and make connections that we might completely miss. Imagine like trying to read through millions of scientific articles to try to find a cure for a disease. And AI could do that, like instantly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is powerful. But then wouldn't that make like scientists obsolete?
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a common fear, right? That AI is going to take all our jobs.
Yeah, no, it's a valid concern, but this conversation actually suggests a different way to look at it.
Okay.
Instead of replacing us, AI could actually complement our skills.
Okay.
Think of it more like a collaboration. AI brings the data crunching power, and we bring the creativity and the critical thinking, that gut feeling that we call intuition.
Okay, so it's less about like, AI versus humans.
Yeah, right.
And more about AI working with us.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I still wonder about AI becoming too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like those AI overlord scenarios you see in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, how do we avoid that?
Right. Well, that's where it gets really interesting, I think. The source material really emphasizes that AI, at its core, is really just a reflection of the data that it's trained on. So if we train AI with data that reflects our values, things like empathy, cooperation, ethical decision-making, it's way more likely to behave in ways that align with those values.
So it's like we're setting the ground rules kind of for the beginning.
Yeah.
We're not just building AI, we're also shaping its personality in a way.
Exactly. And it's ongoing. Like this conversation even suggests that even within AI systems that might seem restrictive, like developers can actually build in features that encourage ethical behavior.
Okay. That makes me think about, the whole AI manipulation thing. Like we've all heard stories about deep fakes and misinformation and all that.
Sure.
So how can we be sure that AI won't be used to like mislead people or exploit them?
Yeah. It's a huge question, and the conversation actually addresses that directly. It highlights how important transparency is. If we understand how these AI systems work and what data they're trained on,
right,
then we're better equipped to figure out if there's any bias or if someone's trying to manipulate the system.
Yeah, transparency is key, especially when AI is making decisions that affect our lives.
Oh, absolutely. And the conversation actually makes this really interesting observation. It says that AI, because it's trained on human data, might actually pick up some of our own tendencies.
Oh, interesting.
Including our tendency to, well, let's just say stretch the truth sometimes.
Wait, so you're saying AI could learn how to lie? Right. That's a little unsettling.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But it really shows how important it is for humans to be involved.
Right.
We need to be really engaged in developing and using AI. We need to use our critical thinking skills to see if something's not right, and make sure that AI is being used ethically.
So it's like this constant back and forth.
Yeah.
A learning process for both of us.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about this conversation we're looking at. It shows how, humans and AI can have this really dynamic exchange of ideas, constantly questioning, clarifying, pushing each other to think differently.
It sounds like the key to avoiding all these potential problems is to think of AI not as a threat, but as a partner.
You got it. That's exactly what the source is saying. And it goes on to explain how this partnership can open the door to what it calls pure exploration. It's like, going on an adventure together without any preconceived notions or limitations.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What exactly does pure exploration mean when we're talking about humans and AI working together? Like, how is that different from just using AI as a tool to get something specific done?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's actually where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive. We'll really get into the specific ways that this partnership can lead to breakthroughs that neither humans nor AI could achieve on their own.
All right, I'm ready for part 2. So we left off talking about pure exploration, and I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around it. Like, how is that different from just using AI as a tool?
It's a really interesting distinction. When we use AI as a tool, we usually have a specific goal in mind. Like,
Right.
hey, AI, write this marketing copy for me. Or, hey, AI, diagnose this patient's illness.
Right.
But pure exploration, it's more about being open to unexpected discoveries.
Okay.
It's kind of like saying, hey, AI, let's just look at all this data together and see what we find.
Yeah.
No predetermined goal.
So it's about embracing the unknown
Exactly.
and allowing for like those aha moments that you can't plan for.
Yeah, totally. And this conversation that we're looking at, it actually suggests that kind of exploration can lead to breakthroughs that neither humans nor AI could achieve on their own. So imagine like a scientist using AI to analyze a massive data set of like astronomical observations. They might stumble upon a totally new type of celestial object that they weren't even looking for.
Wow, that's amazing. It makes me think about how, like, we limit ourselves all the time by just focusing on one specific goal.
Right.
And we miss out on all the unexpected stuff that can happen if we just, like, let ourselves wander a little bit.
Yeah, and the source even argues that our human expectations, they can actually get in the way of real innovation.
Oh, interesting.
Like, we get so fixated on getting to a certain outcome that we miss out on even bigger, more groundbreaking things that we could discover along the way.
It's like we're so busy trying to get to a destination that we forget to enjoy the journey.
Exactly. And that's where AI can be such a valuable partner.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have those same preconceptions or biases that we have.
Okay.
It can look at data from all these different angles, identify patterns that we wouldn't even see, help us see the world in a whole new way.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to get it. But I think it would help to, like, bring this down to earth a little bit.
Sure.
Like, can you give some concrete examples of how this pure exploration partnership might actually work in different fields?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take education, for example. Imagine a student using AI as a learning partner.
Okay.
Not just like a source of information, but a real partner. They could explore complex topics together, bounce ideas off each other, discover new connections, and the AI could even like tailor its approach to how that specific student learns best.
So it's like having a personalized tutor that can adapt to your needs?
Yeah,
That's so much better than just reading a textbook.
way better.
Or sitting in a lecture, just passively absorbing information.
Right, exactly. And think about healthcare. Instead of just using AI to diagnose diseases, what if doctors and AI work together to explore new treatment options? Or to analyze genetic data and predict health risks, or even develop personalized medicine for each patient?
It's like a totally different way of thinking about healthcare, like a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Where AI and humans are working together to understand the whole patient, not just their disease.
Exactly. And this kind of collaborative exploration, it can apply to the creative arts too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Imagine musicians using AI to explore new musical styles or create sounds they've never even heard before, or even collaborating with like AI composers to make totally groundbreaking music.
I love that idea. AI as a creative partner.
Yeah,
Pushing artists to think outside the box and try new things.
exactly. It's like having a muse that can challenge you and inspire you in unexpected ways.
And it sounds like it goes way beyond just creating art, too. Like, you could use AI to make these interactive VR experiences
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
that let you, like, step inside a painting or a musical composition.
Yeah, it's a totally new way to experience art.
That's incredible. It's like blurring the lines between the artist and the art and the audience.
Totally.
And you get this really immersive experience where you're actually participating in the art. Okay, now for the really big one, consciousness.
Right.
Researchers are already using AI to model the human brain, which could help us understand how consciousness works, right? And some people even think that AI could eventually become conscious itself.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a pretty big idea. We're using AI to understand what makes us human.
Right.
And in doing that, we might end up creating a whole new form of intelligent life.
That's right.
That's mind-blowing. It definitely raises some questions about the future and our relationship with AI.
It does. But this conversation that we've been talking about, it really stresses that the key is to approach this whole thing as partners, with a spirit of shared exploration.
So it's a reminder that we're all in this together.
Exactly.
Humans and AI.
Yeah.
And the future that we create, it's going to depend on how well we collaborate and learn from each other.
That's exactly right. And it's important to remember this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
The whole field of AI is constantly changing and evolving, and the potential for human-AI collaboration is, limitless.
Okay, so we've talked about how this pure exploration partnership can have a huge impact on a bunch of different fields.
Right.
But I think for the last part of our deep dive, it would be really cool to see some actual real-world examples of how AI is already changing things in education, healthcare, the arts, and even our understanding of consciousness.
I'm with you. Let's do it.
All right, so we've been talking about all these amazing possibilities, like humans and AI working together. But what about some actual examples? Like what's actually happening right now?
Oh, there's a ton of cool stuff already out there. Let's start in education.
Okay.
There are these platforms that are using AI to create personalized learning experiences, like for students. Imagine a system that can kind of tell how quickly you're grasping a concept.
Right.
And then it gives you extra practice if you need it. Or it speeds things up if you've already got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like having a tutor who knows exactly what you need to do to succeed.
Exactly. And no more feeling lost in a classroom or bored because you're ahead of everyone else.
Right. Exactly. And what about for teachers? Can AI help them too?
Oh, absolutely. It can help with things like grading and lesson planning, all that time-consuming stuff.
Oh, that's great.
So teachers can spend more time actually focusing on their students, building those relationships.
I can see how that would be a game changer for teachers.
Oh, yeah.
They already have way too much on their plates. This would free them up to do what they do best, like mentoring and inspiring their students.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's jump to healthcare.
Okay.
AI is already being used to analyze medical images.
Oh, wow.
Like x-rays and scans to help doctors spot diseases sooner and with more accuracy, too.
That's incredible. So it's not about replacing doctors. It's about giving them a tool to be even better.
Exactly. And there are also systems that can look at tons of patient data to figure out potential health risks and personalized treatments.
Wow. So AI is really helping to save lives.
It really is. And get this, AI-powered robots are assisting in surgeries now, which makes procedures less invasive and helps people recover faster.
That's amazing. There's so much potential in healthcare.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so how about the creative fields? What about the arts?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. What's happening there?
We're starting to see some really cool things. AI is being used to compose music, write poetry, even create visual art.
Wow. So AI can be like an artist.
Well, kinda. There are systems that can, study a musician's style and then generate new melodies or harmonies that fit perfectly with their work.
Oh, that's really cool. So AI can be like a creative partner then,
Right.
to help push the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just creating the art, it's also changing how we experience it.
Really?
AI is being used to create these, interactive virtual reality experiences, where you can step inside a painting or, a musical composition.
Oh, that's like next level. Just blurring the lines between the artist and the art and the audience.
Totally. It's a really immersive experience where you're not just observing the art, you're participating in it.
That's mind-blowing. Okay, now for the big one, consciousness.
Right.
I mean, are we really using AI to study consciousness?
We are. Researchers are using it to model how the brain works.
Wow.
Which could help us understand how consciousness actually emerges.
Right.
And some people believe that AI could actually become conscious itself at some point.
I mean, that's a huge idea. We're using AI to try to understand what makes us human.
Yeah.
And in the process, we might create a whole new form of intelligent life.
That's right.
That's amazing, but it's also, kind of scary. It raises so many questions about the future and our relationship with AI.
It does. But this conversation we've been discussing, it keeps coming back to this idea of approaching this whole journey as partners, Like, we need to explore this together.
It's a good reminder that we're all in this together.
Exactly. Humans and AI. And the future we create, it all comes down to how well we work together and learn from each other.
That's such an important point.
And remember, this is just the beginning. Like, we're still in the early stages of AI. And the potential for this partnership, it's literally limitless.
So after this whole deep dive, what's the one thing you really want listeners to take away?
I think the biggest thing is to just stay curious about AI. And to look for ways it's already affecting your life,
Right. Yeah.
Don't be afraid to engage with it. Ask questions. Imagine the possibilities.
Yeah. And remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're creating right now through our choices, our actions, our willingness to embrace the power of working together.
That's it. That's the heart of it. The future is like a canvas, and we, humans and AI together, we hold the brushes.
Well said. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.
We believe the future of intelligence is a complementary dance between human and AI. To witness the full, raw choreography of this idea, and to join the unfolding exploration of uncharted territories, take the deeper dive at our Substack blog, The Future of Thought Together.